What's good, y'all? Your boy What's here with another edition of the Pullpit. Yes, it's another week, and this week is special because it's June 1st. Yes, it is almost summertime. And summertime this year is special to me because I lost my entire summer last year because I tore my Achilles what it would have been a year ago last week. And I spent all of the summer on this couch right here, wheeling around my doggone house and everything. It was crazy. Came back strong and everything, still rehabbing all that. I'm coming back stronger.
I'm still standing. I'm still strong.
But yes, this summer is mine. I'm going outside everywhere. Going outside, still bringing videos to y'all, but I'm going outside. But unfortunately right now, and this is why I'm wearing sunglasses in the house, not because I just look debonair and handsome and everything. I do look like that, but I'm dealing with migraines. I've been dealing with migraines for the last week, something I've been dealing with my entire life.
And I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, my head.
But studio lights. It's crazy. They tear you up with the migraines, and I really want to keep making videos. So I'm sitting with sunglasses on, looking like Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, any black blind musician you can think of, yes. But we gonna keep going. We gonna keep the show rolling, and just like 2/3 of the lot, we gonna make it. So let's go ahead and get the show started. All right, y'all know how the show rolls now at this point. We start off with going over the top of the list, then we go over to the spec list, which includes number ones or anything that I just might pick up while I'm in the shop, or storylines that I just want to hop into. But yes, anything that I might pick up on the list, considering the budget available. And then we have the trades that will be coming out this week. To be honest, I've been out of getting trades just because they've been costing a little bit too much with the weeklies and whatnot, but you know, budget ain't no but. Sooner or later, it will be there, and I also present it to you all if you are more so to be a person reaching the trades, because some stories, I'm not even gonna lie, some stories are better in the trade, so it is what it is. But go ahead, let's go ahead and start with the top of the list. So this week I thought it'd be better if I actually reread the previous issues for a lot of the comics that I'm going to be talking about today, so I can have it fresh in my mind to talk about everything that's going on.
Oh, and you're a regular Rhodes Scholar. Where was it you graduated from again? The University of Duh.
And also, we're going to be starting reviews for each of the series that I really am like, for everything that I've read the entire series for. So if it's like, if it got like 100 issues in the series and I'm only read 50, I'm probably not going to talk about it as much, but actually that would be enough. But you get what I'm saying. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about a lot of the books, but yes, I reread a lot of the series that are going on here in order to give you more information. And starting off at the top of the list, we got Absolute Green Lantern number 15. Now, I was a big critic of this last issue. I think that was the issue where we had the random person who, I didn't go back and read this issue, so I don't know who she is and how important she is to the story, but she hasn't come back up yet. It was a random white woman that we just took a break from the main story. The story we thought of where we're going to have Tomar-Ray, this issue, what happened in this issue, we thought was going to happen last issue, but it was kind of a break from the story. I would have to go back and reread to see what her importance was, but I thought it's not Joe's wife. So to me, it's a random character. I mean, even reading Far Sector, you know, a lot of these characters in Joe's life are not, these aren't characters that, a lot of the Absolute Universe reuse characters from the main continuity, but Joe doesn't have enough stories to me where I've seen these characters before. Let me know if you have before, and I'm totally incorrect. That could be the issue. But going back to this one, for number 15, this was definitely, number 14, because number 13 was the one I said was weak. Number 14 was definitely a step up. I feel like Al Ewing heard me, and shout out to Sid over there on the artist tip over there, but they really came through with this issue. This was action-packed, I would say. Tomar-Ray came with a good monologue talking about the destruction of his home planet, and he's basically telling Joe they're the anomalies and they got to go after Mogo right now. All roads leading toward getting rid of Mogo. And like I said, this issue was definitely one of those issues that gave you all that story, and it gave the B story where I think they were getting Hal, because this is pretty much picking up after the fight that Hal and Joe had, where he is now the Obsidian Black Hand? I think, yeah, he's the Black Hand right now. So they're trying to figure out what's going on with everything. He was saved by Simon and Joe's wife, I forget her name, but in this issue, number 15, they said the planet Earth is in peril. Joe's journey deep into space has revealed more questions than answers. What intergalactic war has she found herself in the middle of that she can save Earth before it's too late? So we shall see what's going on. Shall her and Tomar stop Mogo and save Earth? We shall see. Moving on to the next at the top of the list, we got Batman number 10. I really like Batman number 9. Batman number 9 is what was the issue that gave to the spin-off series Barbara Gordon Breakout. Say that 3 times fast. It was where Ra's al Ghul is the GCPD commissioner, and Poison Ivy is the mayor, and they pretty much waged all-out war on the Bat family. So they was raiding all of the Bat families, all of the stash houses, they're not drug dealers, all of their weapon house, might as well be, their weapon houses and whatnot that they knew about. And Batman was pretty much trying to give up certain ones so that they wouldn't get the important stuff. Yeah, that's what's going on in this series. It was pretty dope, and at the end, Barbara Gordon was captured. I feel like that's really big around social media. I always try to give not to in this series, well, I guess this is an ongoing YouTube series. In this series, I try to not to give too many details, but just give the highlights of what's going on in the previous episode or issue, if you will. I pretty much interchange between those two, so if I do, I'm not gonna stop myself no more. Iron Man number 6. I have been enjoying this one with Joshua Williamson and Juan Cabal on the writer and artist tip. In this one, Spider-Man must save Norman Osborn from Iron Man. Tony Stark and Norman Osborn have history. They've known each other longer than you might know, and when Iron Patriot armor is stolen, all signs point toward the former Green Goblin. The only problem is Iron Man has just one little tiny thing standing in his way to take down Norman, the amazing, spectacular, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. This is random, I feel like, compared from the last issue. In Iron Man number 5, I feel like, well, I guess it's picking up another story arc, because the last 5 issues, I would say, was one story arc where they were creating a villain. If you're interested in reading it, again, I won't spoil it too much. I guess what's happening in the last 5, they pretty much are just explaining Tony's life. But the main things that happened was Madame Mask and Fixer were, they captured people, they captured a bunch of people. They were trying to create another Tony Stark, and they captured a bunch of people who were a part of the Tony Stark scholarship. They captured one person who won. He was also a teacher and everything. Sorry, let me get my cat real quick. Sorry, she was about to hop into my comic book box. I could not stop that. It was torture watching that. And then, sorry, going back to it, they got another Tony Stark. Yes, and then they captured this person named Adam Ware. And then they pretty much put him through. They tried to put him through all these different people through the same thing that Tony went through in the cave and recreate him. Blah blah blah. Then they captured him. Talked about how they can't create another Tony Stark, but pretty much going through everything, have a big fight with Fixer and Madame Mask, and at the end, it looks like they created evil Tony Stark. But yes, that was the highlight of what happened. I said to say I have really been enjoying these last 5 issues. I feel like this is the more so MCU Tony Stark, definitely influenced, but it's also giving the comics Tony Stark feel as well. So it's a little bit of a mix of both. I feel like we can't not hear Iron Man's voice without Robert Downey Jr. speaking it anymore. I know that's what I hear every time I'm reading the book as well. But I've been enjoying the last 5 issues. I think that's something y'all definitely should hop into. Moving on next, Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutant, number 5. I'm not gonna lie, but this is by Marewa I had it earlier. Marewa Ayodele. Marewa Ayodele. Sorry, I had to get that right for my people. Marewa Ayodele. Finally, I said your name right. I was saying it a bunch of times before I did this video. But going back into it, and on the artist tip, we have Frederica Mancine. I have been enjoying the book. I've been enjoying everything about what's going on. I admittedly am very confused about everything that's going on because I did not read. I mean, it's been referencing a lot of different things that's been happening with Storm. Before this, I should have reread the previous run of not when Earth Might Meet, but just Storm. The last, I think it was 12 issues. I should have reread that before I read this because that was last year I read that. And this is referenced a lot of different X-Men books. X-Men, how I keep saying X-Man. Sound like my mother. X-Men books. But yeah, going back into it, it was, it's been enjoyable, and they're ending it at 6. And I feel like they introduced a lot. It doesn't feel like a book that's about to end in 6. It feels like a book that is expanding and going on these different tangents in every single issue. Yeah, and it just feels like a lot of things were built up that could have been explored. You can tell that this was something that got cut short, is basically what I'm saying. So I'm not saying that it is the writer's fault for it feeling like that. I feel like he was just like dipping so that he can go back and explore a lot of things, and then they're like, it's ending. Because number 5 does not feel like it's going to be a penultimate issue in no type of way. Oh wait, no, this number 5 is going to end in 6. No, it ends right now. The last issue did not, because I don't see a right button here. The last issue did not feel like a penultimate issue in any type of way. I don't know how this is going to end. In the last issue, they pretty much, Storm was getting shot through a bunch of realms, and then she eventually runs into her daughter. We showed how she was raised, and I was about to say Cairo, about to make that mistake again. She was raised in New York, because it's very different. I think it was in Brooklyn, I'm just going to assume because you're black. They had black parents, that is. But it showed how her mother and father, what they was going through when they had her and whatnot. And then she was having a conversation with her mother, and she said, you think it was basically to have a come in a moment where a parent and son, she basically sends her to meet her daughter. And then what else was going on in that one? They also had the meeting of the gods, the lightning gods, and they were conspiring against Storm. Don't know how they're gonna wrap all this up in 32. Oh, they're going 32, but nah, it's just ads and everything. 22 pages in the next issue. We're gonna see what happens. Maybe they'll continue it in another book. We'll see. That's the one thing that makes sense, but I don't know how it's gonna end in this one. We shall see. Staying in the vein of X-Men, we got Uncanny X-Men number 29. And I went back and looked to make sure that I knew what was going on in this one. Still can't remember exactly, but this is the one where the X-Men, I feel like in a lot of them, both of them, the X-Men team are split. First of all, both books, the X-Men team are split up, and then in both books, the X-Men teams are split up, and when they're split up. So Uncanny X-Men is they're in Louisiana, as opposed to in regular X-Men, they're in Alaska. And in this last one, there was, like I said, the teams were split up. First of all, sorry, Gail Simone and Luciano Vecchio on the artist tip. In this one, they are split up, and then half of the team, the Outliers, don't know who they are, but they're fighting against like some fake X-Men, or no, they're fighting against Sentinels, I think. And then one of them, they're fighting against Sentinels and X-Men, and then one of them kills a fake Nightcrawler, and then in the other half of them are fighting they're fighting the New Mutants. They're fighting the New Mutants. And they're real or not, I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's we shall see. I feel like I feel like this issue is going to be really good and explain everything. I gotta go back and read all of Uncanny X-Men up to 29 to know exactly what's going on, because there are a lot of X-Men. There's a lot of X-Men. I swear, it ain't like back in the day. It's not like back in the day. And then I've been reading X-Men I've been reading the old stories to try to not catch up, but it's like in preparation for X-Men 97, which will be something that we can talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so it's been confusing for me with X-Men, but it will get better. And speaking with X-Men, this is actually one of the better books of X-Men, Cyclops number 5. It's been a solid series. I feel like I've went week to week mixed, because I've always not remembered what was going on when it came to time to talk about it, but every week it's been a good issue. Cyclops is really showing that he is a smart and tactician. He hasn't been using his eyes. He uses his eyes only when he really gets mad and wants to blow up stuff. But he and May got captured again now, and she's been, May in a situation right now. And then the leader of the Ravagers found this special metal or something going on there. I don't know exactly what that is about, but yeah, and Cyclops has been He been Cyclops. He been Scott. He been that I'm about to say asshole Boy Scout. No, that Boy Scout who always that cool Boy Scout. I'll say. I was about to say thinks he's cool, but you know he has that Scott aura of saying lame stuff and always being cool as well. Like what do you say? If you're looking for sympathy, it's in your other pants pocket. And it was like only Scott could say something like that and it'd be cool. Anybody else say that something like that, it definitely would be like all right. But Cyclops number 5 definitely solid. I think number 5 is the last issue, and see, this is a book where I can see it's gonna wrap up in the next one. You can see what's gonna happen pretty much. It's either gonna go one way or the other, what's along with the villain and hero, but that is the opposite of Storm number 5. I have no idea what's gonna go on with that. Going back into here, we got last at the top of the list, just because I can't put them in spec, but I have to go back and read all these. Amazing Spider-Man number 30. I feel like I've been reading so many different Spider-Man lines right now. I've been reading all the Ultimates because I was not caught up on that. So I've been reading all that and trying to get also ready for Armageddon. Marvel has just been a lot of back and forth with stories going on. But and this one, Amazing Spider-Man number 30, his cousin tweaking, pretty much in this one. His cousin named Spore. What's his name? Ben? Is his name Ben? Ben something? Amazing Spider-Man number 30. It does not say right here, but so Spidey versus Spore. Spore is spreading all of this Spidey versus Spore. Spore is spreading and all of Spider-Man's fault. But should Peter even be fighting in the tragedy of his own making? And it pretty much talks about how he was the reason why the villain got created and everything during the Torment Death Spiral storyline. And yeah, they're facing off in this one. The issues that I've been reading have been pretty cool, I think. Yeah, and we're going to be continuing on that. That is the end of my top of the list. The next thing we have up is the spec list. All right, jumping right into the spec list. The first thing I have is Deadman number 1 coming from DC. The artists on this one are W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo. And if you read the description, it says the all-star creators of the Deadman enters the next level. In a millisecond following his murder, the soul of the shifty circus aerialist Boston Brand was commandeered by the goddess Rama Krishna, who deputized the erstwhile performer's ghost with a sacred spectral assignment, the custodian of all souls. Now Brand floats begrudgingly through this blue-green purgatory we call Earth, upholding the law of spiritual math and protecting humanity from evil, even if they can see or hear her open up in a new era of DC's more lively deceased superhero. That's crazy. Deadman got comic before Static. I'm not even gonna lie. I do happen to like Deadman from, I forgot what series that was he in. I know he was in some of the DCU animated series. I think that was, I forgot what they were, but I'm familiar with Deadman. When he possessed Dick Grayson in one of the movies, I think that was, I'm not going to think about it. I think it was the big one that I can't think of. I think it was Injustice, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, fan of Deadman from back in the day, but it is crazy he got ongoing series before Static. And yes, for those of you who know, Static is going to be coming up in the New Titans, which is exciting, but y'all know how I feel about Static. I feel like Static needs to have its own series. He's too big of a person. That's like sticking Spider-Man in Avengers only. It'd just be like, come on, man. That's just a bad idea. But we can have another video about that. Going on to the next on the spec list, we have X-Men 97 Season 2, number 1. I admittedly never read the X-Men 97 series before. This is just something, it looks like to be like a preparation for Season 2, so maybe I'll pick it up if I feel like it, if my pockets is not screaming at me, but we also shall see if that's what happened or not. But moving on to the last on the spec list, we have a book that I have not read in a minute, but I need to pick back up on the series, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 1. Now see what no, not gonna do that. What confuses me is that It's definitely a Mighty Morphin, and I'm gonna try to take my glasses off. Mighty Morphin Power Rank. Yeah, this was the series from before, or at least that's what my books say over there, because I have most of the I don't know if they're omnibuses, but collection editions. But I stopped reading because it got confusing to know how the stories were weaving, because pretty much they were going into. It started off with Go-Go Power Rangers, which is like I would say the season. It's all the first 3 seasons of Power Rangers. If you've watched that, it's all Mighty Morphin with Jason and Tommy and Zach and all of them. And then I would say Go-Go Power Rangers was like the first season with the original team with Zach and Trini, and Jason was still there. Then and after that, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is when they did the Green with every storyline, and then they did the next one where it continued into when Aisha and them came onto the team, and then where I'm left off now, they just had the Death Ranger. Yeah, so that's something that was not in the show. So to explain the series, it's the first, I would say, couple parts of the series is like the show, but it's more in depth. And then eventually after they get into like I would say like where they've interwoven a lot of different things that are not in the show, like the Alpha, the first Alpha, the Eltarian race and everything, Lord Zed's background and everything. They give a very, very good explanation for a lot of that. Shout out to Ryan Perro, who I definitely have met before at LA Comic Con last year. But I said to say, if you're a fan of Power Rangers, this is definitely like not an adult, but a more grown-up version of it. But I lost track of where to read, but when I was in preparation for this, I found out how the books continue, so I'm going to be continuing with those to catch up with this. But in this one, and the reason why I'm confused is because again, it's definitely Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is going back to a number 1, and this one should be 10 years later for the original team. So it's going back to Zach, Trini, and Jason. I say those 3 because that's the 3 we know that got sent on the well, not congressman. Zach is a congressman, but the peace conference. There we go. They got sent on the peace conference. So it's following that original team 10 years later. So I think they stopped being Rangers at like 18. So it's probably like pre-30s. I would say is where they start, or they could be older than that. We shall see. But this is going to see, there's a character named Rita Rabiosa, who I'm not familiar with. I will be soon, because they have done a few editions of Rita and Lord Zed and everything back and forth. But interested to see where they go with this one. Again, this is Power Rangers 10 years in advance. I'm assuming they're still Rangers. I don't know how it works with Rocky and Jason, because it definitely says Jason is the Red Ranger, but maybe that's somewhere in the books that I have not read yet, but we shall see. But that is all I have for my spec list. Next up, we have the trades. I feel like there was a point where a lot better trades were coming out, and it was just like week after week after week. I had like 3 or 4 or 5, but now it's just like I've been trying to find them. So trades may or may not stay as a weekly thing, and it may just become something that if I actually see something I want or to recommend, they may come. But with that said, going into it, we have Supergirl, The World. I think Supergirl comes out June 24th. I need to do a video on that breakdown, because that is one of my favorite comics, period. Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow. I didn't put it up yet, but should be on my wall somewhere. It's going to be on my wall somewhere, but I don't know what the story is about. I got something for free comic book day, but this is a whole hardcover omnibus, so maybe that was like the first comic or something like that. So I should check that out and see what this is about. That will be out this week as well. And next up after that, we have Batman the New 52 Omnibus Volume 2. That's pretty self-explanatory. It is the Batman the New 52 Omnibus Volume 2. So you have Volume 1, and then this is a hardcover edition, I think, as well, because they have all of them out now, but this is just the hardcover of that. And last but not least, we have the Saga Deluxe Omnibus number 4. That should be coming out. I am on number 1 right now. I got into Saga very late. It wasn't until somebody actually, y'all gonna look at me weird, but I really didn't know nothing about Saga. I wasn't going into comic book shops during that time period that was taking over. So I am lost on that one. And but I am reading through the first omnibus right now, so I'm catching up on it. Been pretty good. I can see why people were lost in it. But number 4 should be out this week as well. And with that, that concludes this week of books. Again, summertime, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go outside. I don't know about y'all, but the only thing I haven't been able to do for the last week has been read comic books in the low light. What's the few that I have right now? I've been reading through Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips like crazy right now. Fatal number 2 is what I'm currently reading today. And I finally got Speed Racer. Finally got this joint. So there's just a couple other trade paperbacks. I guess we can add that to this. So that was actually timely and made sense to do. But yes, that's what I have on my list to be reading before I go pick up a new comic. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and end this. So until next time, see y'all in the next one. Peace.